Rawr.
Tiger's Curse by Colleen Houck. So our main character Kelsey needs a summer job. Is she going to stack shelves at a supermarket? Serve fries at McDonald's? No. She's going to spend her summer looking after a tiger called Wren. However, during Kelsey's placement there, a man arrives at the circus offering to buy Wren and place him in an Indian tiger reserve. However, as soon as she gets to India, things take a turn for the unexpected. Kelsey's abandoned by those she's meant to be working for and left alone in the middle of the jungle with a tiger. Luckily, Wren's able to explain things to her. How, you ask? Because Wren is no ordinary tiger. He's actually a 300-year-old Indian prince who's had a curse put on him. He is now only able to remain human for 24 minutes of every 24 hours. When Kelsey eventually gets over her shock, she agrees to help Wren break the curse that's been placed upon him. Together the pair travel around India, looking at prophecies that might relate to Wren's curse, and looking for items that might help break it. The only other books I've read set in India have been Hinton Mysteries' A Fine Balance and Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children, both of which focus on the partition of India and Pakistan, which, as you can imagine, aren't happy-go-lucky tales. Tiger's Curse, in that sense, was quite a breath of fresh air. It was nice to have a fun book set in India, rather than a harrowing retelling of India's troubled past. It was a really nice mix of the magic associated with old Indian mythology and the bright, exciting idea of modern India. Tiger's Curse had a good set of characters, and the relationships with them were built up quite strongly. Even Kelsey's foster parents, who are only in it for the beginning of the story, have interesting and unusual qualities to them, which give them depth and humour. My only faults with this book was it felt quite linear, and the plot was occasionally kind of strained. Elements of it did have the video game idea of you are the chosen one, now collect the 4 magic things. And although for the majority of the book I did really like the main character Kelsey, for the last 100 or so pages she began to really annoy me. Some of her choices were just idiotic, in my opinion. Her insistent blindness and stubbornness just had me tearing my hair out. Although it didn't really have any twists to it, it was a single thread rather than a woven plait, it was still an enjoyable story. Tiger's Curse really is, above all, an adventure tale. It reminded me a lot of Eva Ibbetson's Journey to the River Sea, just because it allowed me to explore a place I've never been to, and in that sense it was quite exciting. It allowed me to play in a circus world, in this idea of modern India, and in the magical worlds Colleen Houck created herself. So if you want an adventure, something interesting and magical, Tiger's Curse is a good one to choose. It also has an amazingly pretty cover. The man approached me carefully, with his hands splayed out in front of him, and repeated, "Kelsey, it's me, Wren." He didn't appear fearsome, but my body tightened in apprehension nonetheless. Confused, I held my hand out in front of me, in a futile attempt to halt his progress. What did you say?" He came closer, put his hand on his muscled chest, and spoke slowly. "Kelsey, don't run. I'm Wren, the tiger." He turned over his hand to show me Wren's collar and the yellow rope coiled around his fingers. I looked behind him, and sure enough the white cat was missing. I took a few steps back to put more distance between us. He saw my movement and immediately froze. The back of my knees hit the stone barrier. I stopped and blinked my eyes several times, not comprehending what he was telling me. "Where's Wren? I don't understand. Did you do something to him?" "No, I am him." He began to approach me again while I shook my head. "No, you can't be." I tried to take another step and almost fell backwards over the wall. He reached me in the blink of an eye and caught my waist, steadying me. "Are you all right?" he asked politely. "No!" He was still holding my hand. I stared at it, imagining the tiger's paw. I looked up into his startling blue eyes. "I am your tiger."